When I was 13, I wanted so badly to be in love, to be loved, to have someone look at me like I was a huge thick slice of chocolate cake with a glass of cold milk. So when I had my first kiss at 16 with the boy I absolutely adored, I blurted out those 3 words. They spilled from my mouth clumsily like a child struggling to pour themselves a glass of fruit punch. I said those words so easily, saying it to every boy that came into my life, and said a few meaningless nothings to me that had me fall for them at the drop of a hat. Only to give them everything, then quickly move on to the next poor victim that stumbled upon this broken soul. It wasn't until I turned 19 that I realized, how can I love someone when I'm still struggling to love myself? I was in an unhealthy relationship with myself, full of verbal and emotional abuse, full of constant scoldings and letdowns. I thought I knew what love was. I thought it was warmth and sunshine. But even the warmest summer day couldn't thaw out my frozen heart. I thought I knew what love was and what heartbreak felt like. I kept going back to a boy who broke my heart as many times as my voice broke, every time I tried to tell him how I was hurting. But I could never tell him because the last thing I wanted was to let him see that I was broken beyond repair. At one point I thought, maybe I just don't have the capability to love someone's eyes when I can't even stand the tired ones that stare back at me in the mirror. Maybe I don't have the capability to truly believe someone's words when I can barely manage to believe my own. I found myself counting my mistakes and flaws like I was counting every single strand of hair on my head. Small and meaningless things, but they filled my head and I felt them with every waking moment. I tended to fall for pretty faces and pretty words, and in return I handed them my heart, soul, and self-respect to them on a silver platter. At some point I threw them in the garbage disposal to save them from getting their hands dirty. Because why should anyone have to clean up a mess that will never be as clean as your mother's freshly mopped kitchen floor? How can I be strong enough for someone when I can't even be strong for myself? How can I have the confidence to say how I feel when every time I'm given a microphone and a spotlight, I remain as frozen as the Arctic? My counselor gave me the task in writing about self-love and what it means to me. It seems simple enough, but it took me forever to finally come up with the words. Self-love is wanting to improve yourself, but not so you'll be the best for whoever you meet. You continue to improve yourself until you turn into someone you can be proud of. Self-love isn't believing you don't need someone to be happy. It's about making your happiness your number one priority. Because in the end, only you can fulfill your happiness. People will disappoint you, and they won't always say the right things, but you have the ability to do what you feel is best for you. Instead of focusing on what others think of you, think about how you feel about yourself. Self-love is waking up every morning and being thankful that you're given another day of life. Self-love is being able to look in the mirror and be happy with what you see, even if all you see are your flaws. Self-love is being able to say what you feel, even if your voice shakes and no one is on your side. Self-love is reminding yourself that you aren't broken or useless. You're simply a work in progress. Self-love can't be achieved in a day. It could be months or even years, and you'll still have some doubts about yourself. But what matters is that you try to pick yourself back up every day and remind yourself that you are important. Remember that there's no one like you. There will never be anyone like you, because no one can be the best you except yourself. The list of things I like about myself isn't very long. It was hard to come up with the things I wrote. But every day I try to make myself see something that's beautiful about myself, because I want that list to get longer. There's a lot I want to accomplish with my life, and a lot I want to improve on. And if that's not self-love, then maybe I'll never truly know what that is. All I know is, I'm starting with the woman in the mirror.